Welcome to the Best Effing Podcast. I'm your host, Money Shot. Let's get into it. Los Angeles Lakers. 21st best starting lineup. I don't even know if I could say best when they rank you 21st. 21st? I don't know what that's about, to be honest with you. I know the Lakers don't have a top 10 lineup, really. The 21st is crazy. They got the likes of the Hornets in front of them at 20. The Knicks at 19. And the Blazers at 17. Now, if you're telling me that AD, Russ, and LeBron, just them three alone, ain't better than those lineups, you're out of your mind. Say what you want to say about Westbrook, right? Say what you want to say about Anthony Davis. When all three of them are in a lineup, they're a very dangerous lineup, right? The worst case scenario I would have took somewhere in the early teens. You would have said, because of the other two guys that are starting with them, they're the 12th or the 13th. I wouldn't have gone as crazy, and I wouldn't have had as much pushback as I have right now, saying that there's 20 better lineups than AD, LeBron, and Westbrook. Sounds insane. I think a lot of these guys just want to say anything that comes to mind. I think some of these people have, maybe have 2K on their mind, maybe, they're thinking, these lineups look cool on 2K, so I think they're better than the Lakers lineup. But come on now. There's a few teams in the top 10 that I might disagree with. They got the Timberwolves in there. I think at 8. They have the Bucks at 9, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That's crazy. I think they have a better lineup than that. I think they should be somewhere in the top 5. But then I look at the top 5, and I think they got the Nuggets at 5 or something like that. I like their starting 5, but are they really the 5th best starting 5 in the game right now? No. They have the MVP on their team, but then the rest of those players are very inconsistent, rarely available. It makes it tougher, right? But yeah, they should be higher on this list than 21. There's no way. It's almost like a personal vendetta against the Lakers in a sense, where they're just saying, we just don't like y'all as, individuals. We don't like Westbrook. We don't like LeBron. I don't think anybody has anything against AD besides him not being available a lot. Other than that, I think he's a pretty likable guy. I think they don't like LeBron because he's so outspoken, right? Insane to me, because I feel I know that there's no way there's 20 lineups better than that. There's no way. Say what you want to say about Westbrook. Yeah, he played bad. But I still wouldn't take that away from this lineup. This lineup looks better than 21 or 21st. Jamar Chase, the 20th best receiver on Madden. I don't know. That sounds insane to me. I can't name you 20 receivers that's better than Jamar Chase at this moment. So the fact that this game is basically saying that he's the 20th best receiver, 20th best at his position. It's saying, all right, we're going to get Jamar Chase, 87 overall. We're going to put him at 20. I mean, from the way he was playing last year, should be top 10. Easily. Another guy that didn't make the top 10, Deebo Samuels. I don't know how that's even possible. He's definitely a top 10 receiver in the game right now. It's just interesting, where some of these receivers are placed on this list. They have Amari Cooper at 10. I mean, Amari's not a bad receiver. I don't know where he's getting all this flack from. I think it's just disgruntled Cowboy fans that just want to throw dirt on his name more and more. But Amari, is he top 10? I would say no. He's somewhere right outside of that list. He's definitely top 15 though. I wouldn't put him at 20 either. His abilities are definitely top 15 worthy. He single-handedly changed the Cowboys when they picked him up. So I'm not going to take that off of his resume just because one team didn't like his production last year. Another guy on that top 10 that's kind of questionable, but I understand maybe why they put him on that list is Terry McLaurin. He hasn't really had a solid quarterback to throw to him, but he still has pretty good numbers, So I get it. Madden kind of finally showed some love to Tyler Lockett. Something I feel like was kind of overdue. They give him a 90 rating if I'm not mistaken. I think DK is a little overrated on this list. They have him over Jamar also. I would not take DK Metcalf over Jamar Chase. No way. You had Russell Wilson as your quarterback. And it didn't pan out really. Your numbers weren't looking like off the charts. If anything, I felt that Tyler Lockett was more productive than you in that offense. Even though he's a lesser valued receiver, even though I don't think he is. But in the NFL circles and definitely for fans, they don't really look at Tyler Lockett as being that guy. He's a great receiver, though. Like I said, I like his game. He had a special connection with Russell Wilson. They finally gave him his just due and gave him a 90 rating. Congratulations to Tyler Lockett. Jamar Chase said he's highly motivated because of his rating, and we'll see what he does this season coming up, right? Same thing with Deebo. Deebo not being top 10 is crazy. The man single-handedly basically carried that whole offense. Should definitely be a top 10 receiver on this video game. I always thought Madden was more about the more you update your resume, the higher rating you have in this game. But it seems like that's not been the case. It's more like the veterans in this game got more love. The younger players still didn't have a bad rating because 87 is not terrible. They're not saying he's a scrub or anything, but if I had to give Jamar a rating, I would have gave him at least a 91, if not higher. Kevin Durant to the Washington Wizards. It's laughable. There's no way that Kevin Durant is going to the Washington Wizards. Especially how the Nets have been asking boatload of players and boatload of draft picks for Kevin Durant. And they had some outrageous requests. Like the Minnesota request, they asked for Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, 4 first-round picks and a pick swap, I think. So sending him to the Wizards, like, you're going to be asking for Bradley Beal, Porzingis, Kuzma, basically the whole team. Why would Kevin Durant want to go to the Washington Wizards if you're going to unload the whole team? And he's basically the only player on there. That makes no sense. So it's outrageous the fact that people are even bringing up the possibility of him going to the Wizards. I know he's from the Washington area. That's cool and all. That doesn't mean anything, though. Kevin Durant has been asked this when he was leaving Golden State for the first time, I think. And maybe even when he was leaving OKC. If he had any interest in going back to DC. And he said no. He had no interest. I'm not saying it might not change eventually. Maybe later down the road. If he wants to go, to the Wizards and retire or something like that, I wouldn't put it past them. But he basically said he does not want to play there at this moment or anytime soon. So for them to even throw that into the mix now, we're just saying anything. What's the next thing? The Magic are interested in Kevin Durant. Like, he's not going to go to the Magic. It's not happening. The man had his 2 destinations picked. The Phoenix Suns, Miami Heat. That's where he wants to go. So either you send him to those 2 teams, but then decimate the teams, or you just keep him, The way it's looking, the Nets are basically playing hardball. They don't mind giving up Kevin Durant, but they want everything. They don't mind keeping Kevin Durant because last time I checked, they weren't the one that was trying to shop him. Kevin Durant requested a trade, so now they're trying to figure out, okay, well, if we are going to trade you, what are we going to get for you? And it better be worth it, because if it's not, we're not trading you. I don't blame them for that. Kyrie already said he's willing to come back, play his last year of his deal, and then figure out his next situation. I wouldn't put it past him to go to the Lakers after the 2022-2023 season, because they'll have Westbrook off their books, and they can definitely pay Kyrie. Kevin Durant to the Washington Wizards, though, it shouldn't even be a story. So we're going to cover that for a short amount of time. The Westbrook phone call to AD and LeBron. Now, that's just interesting to me. I'm wondering who facilitated this phone call. Is it LeBron, calling both Westbrook and Anthony Davis and trying to get them all on the line? Or is it AD that's doing this? Or is Westbrook actually being the bigger man? Something he rarely does, He kind of moves on his own beat, moves on his own tune. He does what he wants. So is he the guy now that's trying to galvanize everyone to come together? Or is he that, I'm just doing me and you guys called me, so now I'm down to have this phone call, but I'm not the one that's going to be seeking out this phone call. And I think that's one of the biggest detriments to Westbrook. He's getting up there in age. You can't be the selfish, stubborn player that you were when you were younger. With great success comes great sacrifice. He has yet to sacrifice, really. His only sacrifice he really partaked in last year was he's willing to give up the ball to LeBron, but you call it giving up the ball to LeBron when it's LeBron? Kind of a no-brainer, but besides that, like, he didn't try to find a way to fit in, really. He still tried to play his game with the ball in his hand less. And, Shaq spoke to him in one of the games on the sideline and told him to slow down. You're going 100 miles per hour. That's why you're making all these mistakes. Hopefully he takes that advice and he actually slows down. For the most part, when I watch Westbrook, like, off-season training videos, all I see him is attacking the basket. And he needs to go in and work with a shooting coach, man. That shot looked atrocious last year. It's time to update the bag, man. We need to see you taking shots and actually making them. So, especially when these guys are leaving you open. The disrespect, man. You're an NBA player and they're giving you wide open shots because they don't believe you're going to make the shot. You can't let them get away with that, man. No way, no how. Right? You can't let them get away with it, man. They're letting you get wide open shots in the NBA game. You should be draining those, man. So, I need Westbrook to be in that gym taking jumpers. We need Hoodie Mellow type videos, we need Westbrook in there in the hoodie hitting shots. That's what we need. Am I interested in what they were talking about on that phone call? Not so much, because I feel like it's a lot of empty promises. From the looks of it, they said that the phone call was about trying to get everyone on the same page. Trying to make it work. But last time I checked, they kind of had this same type of conversation. Maybe not as in depth maybe this time, but the first time they all teamed up together, they said they were going to make it work, and they doing everything as a trio. They were out going places together in the whole 9 yards, and it was supposed to be like a bonding situation. But then when the games started, they were playing like didn't even know each other. It's like this whole time that you guys were around each other, you should have been not only bouncing ideas, but actually playing together, right? I think last year they only played like 20-something games together. Obviously due to injuries. Hopefully this year they're going to play more games together. But even when they were playing together, it didn't look good, really. It didn't look good. Aesthetically, it looked very bad. Especially when Westbrook had the ball in his hand. The crowd yelling, "No!" every time he took a shot was crazy. But I don't blame them, though. I do not blame them for not wanting Westbrook to take a shot. I think he led the league in turnovers. A lot of those passes was just like him already leaving his feet. And I feel like that's like elementary style basketball. They'll tell you don't leave your feet when you're trying to pass, because you don't have a lot of choices once you leave your feet. Once you leave your feet, you only have two choices: you either pass or you shoot. At least when you have your feet planted into the ground, you can still make something happen. You can still attack, you can shoot, you can pass, you can reset. There's so many different options that you have when you still have your feet on the ground. But like once you leave your feet, it's over, And he was throwing these crazy erratic passes. Westbrook, get it together, man. Westbrook for Randle. A couple of years ago, you would say that's crazy. You need that doesn't sound right. Westbrook for Randle, no. You need to add more to the package to get Westbrook. Now, though, it doesn't sound as crazy. I wouldn't mind Randle going to the Lakers. He definitely became a better player since the last time he played for the Lakers. Got more tricks in his bag now. Hasn't played real well last year. I don't know if that had anything to do with injury or, expectations were just too high, because they did make the playoffs that year. And they played pretty decent in the start, but then, they start unraveling and it didn't look good at all. Westbrook, is he a better player than Randle? As of now, it has to be seen. Westbrook hasn't really proved himself in that aspect. Terrible shooting percentages, terrible from the field. But 1 year doesn't necessarily make a player or break a player. Westbrook is still a future Hall of Famer, so I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give him his flowers on that aspect. Randle, for Westbrook, I would have pulled the trigger if I'm the Lakers. But at the same time, if you do have aspirations of getting Kyrie next year, you just hold on to Westbrook until his contract expires. Get him off the books. The only knock I would have is the fact that Randle is locked up long term. If you want Kyrie, then you wouldn't have cap for him. You would have to trade Randle. And to trade Randle after a year, it's just too much. It's too much. Now you have to find someone that's willing to take his contract. Now what kind of player you gonna get back for him? It just makes the Kyrie sweepstakes even harder. So just stick with Westbrook. See where it leads you. Maybe halfway through the season, the Nets change their mind, and maybe you could still trade for Kyrie mid-season before the trade deadline. If not, you might have to ride it out with Westbrook until the end of the season, get him off your books, and pursue Kyrie in the 2023-2024 season. Leonard Fournette, overweight. That's wild. The weight that they are right now, reporting on, is the fact that he's almost 260 pounds. That's insane. For a running back to be almost 260. That's a defensive end, man. That's insane. I don't know how he let himself go that much. I know he just signed a 3-year deal this offseason, but man, 260 is crazy. And the fact that he's trying to work himself back into shape, I mean, 260 though, man. I wouldn't put it past them to be able to lose like majority of that weight, maybe get down to maybe 240, 235. But like, you have to really exert your body to even lose that many pounds. And man, we're already in July right now. You got to have all that weight off by September. And I feel like if you're exerting your body that badly just trying to get in shape, by the time you start playing, the likeness of injury is just so high now. It's just so high. I had Leonard Fournette last year in my fantasy, and he was dinged up a couple of times. I'm wondering if that's just the normal routine for him. It's just this time he let himself go a little too much, where, you know, he hit 260 where maybe he normally hits 250. You know, soft tissue injuries and stuff like that, you know, will definitely hinder you during the regular season, because, you know, you strained your body. If I'm Tampa Bay, I wouldn't be excited about that whatsoever, you know, unless he's trying to change positions. He's trying to be a defensive end. Go right ahead. Get to 260. You might need 265. But if you're a running back, no way you could be that big, man. Too much weight, man. Too much weight on your knees. Yeah, Leonard. I thought I was going to draft him this year again because he is a productive back. But, man, when I seen 260 almost, you instantly got scratched off my, you know, draft board. If you're around in the later rounds, maybe I'll pick you up just to throw you on my bench. But you ain't going to be my bell cow on fantasy, man. Not coming into camp at 260. No, man. Come on, Leonard. Got to get your shit together, man. You know, being an athlete is a 12-month like position, really. I know you don't get paid for the off season, so, you know, you want to let yourself go, but I feel like you got to stay in shape. Got to get that check, even though you got it already, but you want to continue getting that check. You know, you're not old, so you still got maybe another contract or two in you. You got to get rid of those bad habits, man. Andrew Wiggins says he regrets getting vaxxed. He's saying he, you know, does appreciate the fact that he made his first All-Star, his first finals, won a championship. But he said looking back at it, he doesn't appreciate the fact that it wasn't his choice to get vaxxed. He felt forced. It was either getting vaxxed or not playing. Or at least not playing any home games, only playing away games, right? Kind of like the Kyrie situation. The difference is Kyrie stuck to his guns, missed almost half of the season. They lifted their vax mandate, and Kyrie was able to play home and away games. Wiggins, on the other hand, felt like his hand was forced. And went ahead and got vaxxed. Right now he regrets it. Says he never wanted to put foreign stuff in his body. Doesn't feel comfortable. And that's the sad part about that situation, because he would have had to sacrifice playing. Would they still have been in a position to win a championship is the question, though. With Wiggins playing half of the games, he wouldn't have been All-Star. That's one. Would he still be, you know, as effective defensively? Maybe, maybe not. A lot of those series were won because Wiggins played phenomenal defense and occasionally gave you phenomenal offense. You know, he had a couple of 20-point games that were crucial in winning the series. So, would Golden State still be champions at this moment? Maybe, maybe not. Wiggins' contribution definitely helped. It helped with chemistry. You know, him actually being available for all the games. That's a tough question. It's a tough question, you know. If he would have done it differently and actually didn't get vaxxed, would he have still won the championship, though? Would he have traded in his all-star for the vax, saying, yo, I don't really need this all-star. I'm a turn down the vax. If I win the championship in the end, it's still a win-win situation because I won a championship. Or, you do get vaxxed, but then like he said right now, he felt like he was forced. It's a tricky situation. I mean, I respect any person's decision when it comes to vax. It's your decision, it's your body, Obviously, there does come with consequences. The consequence in his aspect was not being able to play. He felt like he didn't want to, disappoint his teammates. So he went ahead and got vaxxed. Yeah, it's a sad situation, man. It's a sad situation when you're looking back at it and you're like, man, it's one thing if I wanted to actually get vaxxed and it wouldn't have made a difference. It's a whole nother situation when you feel like, they're forcing you to. They're giving you no other choice. The other choice is basically saying you're going to miss half of the season. Or maybe don't play at all. Because with the Nets, originally they gave him pushback on being able to play part-time in a sense, But eventually they said, okay, go ahead and come back to the team. So I don't know how Golden State was with Andrew Wiggins. I don't know if they told him if you don't get vaxxed, you're just not playing at all. They do have a deep enough team to pull something like that off, to say even when, the mandate is lifted, we as a team suspended you for the rest of the season because you were unwilling to get vaxxed. The Nets could have done that also, but they were in such a bad situation, with James wanting out in the whole 9 yards. They felt like they had no other choice but to play him because their season was on the line, They were in the play-in. That tells you that they really needed Kyrie. Now, on the other hand, with Golden State, if they would have kept winning without Wiggins, would they have brought Wiggins back? Or would they have just suspended him for the whole season? Maybe brought him back in the playoffs, but then you're super rusty because you haven't played with these guys for the whole season. There's so many dynamics that could go right or wrong. And Wiggins said he wasn't willing to chance it, so he got vaxxed against his own morals in a sense, and said, well, I'm gonna do this for the greater good of the team, even if I disagree with it. Tough decision. The fact that he's not happy at the moment sucks. Sorry to hear that, Wiggins. Sounds like if they would have given him another choice again to get vaxxed, he might have turned it down this time around. So, you don't want to live in regret. Be true to who you are. Thank you for tuning into the Best Effing Podcast. I'm your host, Money Shot. Don't forget to click the notification bell, subscribe, comment, like, all the good stuff. Until next time, peace.